Hello, boys and girls. Hi. Why, it's been a minute, hasn't it? It's been a long minute. Man, oh man. Been very busy. Wow. Yeah, hi, this is Ted. This is RidewTed. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for sticking with me. I know it's been a while. Life's been busy. Been doing stuff, man. Just really doing a lot of stuff. And look at this gorgeous, glorious day. As you can see, I'm wearing my California riding shirt from Tobacco Motorwear. And a long sleeve tee, and there you have it. That's it. It's 70 degrees. Left my house, it was 70 degrees. And we're on our way over to the hog meeting. And then we're doing a little ride. And then we're doing a hot dog lunch. Yeah. Been very busy at home. Well, the weather's been crappy. First of all, it's been very cold. We had snow in North Carolina, yeah, pretty funny. And it's just been crazy busy. I did a new floor in my house, you know, and that took me it took me a few weeks, so that kept me busy. And of course, you know, because the weather wasn't that great, it was cold and stuff, so that didn't figure into me doing any kind of riding. So, but here I am back out again. I hope wherever you live that the temperatures are resuming to a more conducive riding temperature. And I was speaking with my brother Chris last night, and he's up in New Jersey, and he said it's been cold, very cold, and they had a lot of snow, but the snow is pretty much gone because they got hammered with a lot of rain over the last few days, and the snow's gone. And he's had the chance to take the bike out on one occasion because it was warm enough and the roads were clear. So I'm sure if you live in the northern reaches or in the higher elevations that you may not be getting out like as much as you want. But that's the way it is. It's spring. Spring is sprunging soon this month, and of course that may lead to more rides. The season's beginning. Of course, there are many of you who don't consider there to be a season and you just ride year-round, which is fine. For me, I ride when I have time. Because one thing you don't do when you show up to a group ride is at the beginning of the ride and say, oh, I gotta stop and get gas. No. That's very poor group ride etiquette. Very bad. Get your gas before you go on your ride. Now, the hog group has been doing some rides over the last few weeks, despite the fact that it may have been cold. I am not, as you know, a cold weather rider. I will if I have to, but I don't want to. Now I'm going to guess it's going to be... I'm very surprised. 2.3. Live to ride. Ride to live. I've got my morning tea. Must have my morning tea, which is my thing. You know, it's so funny because my wife makes fun of me because I won't do anything. I won't start my day. Well, my day does not start until I have my cup of tea. It just won't. I just won't. No. I mean, it's like some people like that with coffee, and I get it. That's fine. But my morning cup of tea is my thing. So I will make my cup of tea, and I will sit down either in front of my computer or just sit outside, and I will drink my tea at my leisure. When I am finished with my tea, then I will get up and begin my day, and not before. And actually, in all honesty, You're probably gonna laugh at me for this. That's okay. I used to start my day at 7:15, 7 o'clock every day. Even when I worked full time, that's my routine. I would start at 7 o'clock, 7:15 every day. Well, mostly because the dogs would wake me up. So now that I'm retired, the dogs still wake me up. That's just the way it is. But then what I would do is after I feed them, let them out, feed them and all that, take care of them, stuff like that, I'll lay down again and I'll get up at 9 o'clock. That's what I usually do. Sometimes I just lay there and, one of my dogs will join me on the sofa and just lay with me. So that's sometimes. And sometimes I lay down on the sofa and I pass out. And when my cuckoo clock goes off at 9 o'clock, I wake up. So here I am actually out on the bike, and it's almost 9:30. Actually, I was up and dressed at 8:45. I mean, what time do you wake up, right? It's like, but I know people who they're up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, why? And well, sometimes they're going to bed at 9 o'clock. It's a different story. I just can't go to bed that early. That's when I do at night is when I do my recording for audiobooks. That's when I play my guitar. That's when I, do some gaming with my brothers. That's when I do stuff in the evening hours. So, yeah, I can't go to bed at 9 o'clock. I just can't do that. But I do love getting up early in the morning. That's a lot of fun. It's nice to see the early morning hours, the sunrise and all that stuff like that. Looks like everybody's here early today. Time to go in for the hog meeting.
Six hours later.
This ought to be interesting.
72 hours later.
So apparently, according to what the ride leader had expressed to us all, is that we are going to be doing roughly a 65-mile ride. And we're gonna doing a lot of back roads and yada yada yada. I don't know what their intention is as far as concerned. He said that we're not gonna hot dog it, go fast, but we'll see. I'm not gonna go nuts. I'm gonna ride my own ride. And that guy needs tires. But it feels good to get out. Oh my God, it's so beautiful out. Woo-hoo-hoo. It was 70 degrees when I left my house this morning. 70. In other news, I am in the planning stages of, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? I'm in the planning stages of my Saddle Sore 1000. That's right. I'm gonna do a Saddle Sore 1000. I'm in the planning stages. I am planning my route, and I have, right now at this moment, I've got 4 options. And each one has their benefits. Each one has their, their pros, and they each have their cons. And I'm also trying to determine if I'm going to do a full straight 1,000 miles straight out and hang out for the night at a hotel or something, and then turn around and come back. Or am I going to do 500 miles out, 500 miles back? That's what I'm trying to determine right now. So my 4 routes are, and again, these could be variations of this, but the 4 routes I have are from my home in Charlotte, North Carolina, to take Interstate 40. Just head north, get on Interstate 40, ride out 500 miles, turn around and ride 500 miles back on Interstate 40. Option, now of course the variation to that would be just ride 1,000 miles on Interstate 40. Option 2 is to head north, I-40 for a short stint, and then I-95, and head north, eventually grabbing Interstate 81 and continuing north for 500 miles, and then turning around coming back, or stick with the I-95 route north thing and head up into either upstate New York or follow Interstate 95 through Connecticut into Massachusetts, possibly, whatever, like that, which has a lot of cons to it, or some variation of that ride. Now, and of course, again, north 500 miles, turn around, come back, or do the whole 1,000. Option 3 is to head somewhat south on I-95 and then grab Interstate 20 and head west through Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, 500 miles down, 500 miles back, or just 1,000 miles straight. Again, stay overnight somewhere and then meander back 2 nights. The final and probably the most attractive one would be to get on I-95 south and ride all the way to the Keys, and then when I hit Key West, to turn around, come back north, and at the 1,000-mile mark would be near the top of the Keys. So that's one option. The other option is to, again, of course, ride the 500 miles and make a U-turn. That 500 miles will put me right near Daytona. My preparation for this is, of course, mostly just making sure the bike is good for it. Also making sure that I've got everything I need for the ride. Of course, I will do this ride on sugar. We're going to go out and do that. Secondly is going to be ensuring that I have, of course, I'll bring the tank bag. I have plenty of water, so I'll wear the Camelback, and I'll also have some additional water bottles in the probably in the tank bag, and of course snacks for the road. So yeah, it's that's the planning stages. I'm leaning towards heading south. Knowing what I know about Interstate 40 going north through and west through North Carolina, I know that the traffic is and construction would be horrible probably. So I want to avoid that at all costs, because look, I've only got 24 hours to do this, and from what I've checked out, mapping and yada yada, is that it's likely it's going to take me 18 hours. With that in mind, I'm thinking my departure time should be no later than 6 a.m. So that'll put me back home at midnight. But I'm also thinking, you know, if I leave at 4, at least I'll get home before midnight. That's the idea. I want to definitely do it that way. But I'm thinking May. Sometime in May I'm going to do this. Seems like a good month. I can, the wet temperatures will be nice. The weather will be nice, I hope. And then I want to do the Saddle Store 1000 on the Sportster. That will be a test of my resilience, that's for sure. Because the Sportster's a great little bike, but man, he vibrates like a monster, man. Wow. And I've done some relatively okay long rides with that, with the Sportster. Not relatively long, you know, like 100 miles, but man, boy, my feet were buzzing at the end of that ride. My hands were buzzing. But there was a lot of stop and go in that too, because I drove into the city.
Boys and girls, at this point, this is where my camera decided it was time to die. So, but I wanted to thank you very much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and as always, I ask that you please subscribe down below, and you know that helps me out a lot. I'm trying to get to those 1,000 subscribers, and don't forget, as always, comment down below. You know I respond to all of your comments. Peace out, and rock and roll.